still think that you are in line to be Trump's vice president?
No, it's up to Donald Trump. He's the only person who will decide this.
He's
the only person who will decide. And yes, I do speak to him.
May I ask what he said to you about being vice president?
No, I never tell anybody my personal conversations
Did
with
the dog story
President
come up
Trump.
in a conversation
I
with
talk
Trump?
to President Trump all the time.
About the dog?
About a lot of things. And right now, I tell you what, he is being persecuted in a political witch hunt in this court case. So I'm proud of him about how
Okay, he keeps talking about that dog, man. He wants to know about that damn dog. That's all everybody knows. Man, there's a lot of pressure on her. This is a fiery exchange. I'm going to finish it out here. But of course, this is Kristi Noem, governor of South Dakota, and things escalate very quickly when she's pressed about that damn dog. And I can't blame her. For some reason, everybody in the United States, whether they're populist left, libertarian, bootlickers, they're all united against her and what she did. I mean, if you don't know what happened, she basically put a piece on her dog and just blew the dog's head off in a ditch. And she thought it was an example of having to make a tough decision. So let's take a look at what triggered her. And I do have a takeaway. I think you might know. Let me give you a hint. Libs of TikTok, Kristi Noem, Nancy Mace.
Still think that you are in line to be Trump's vice president?
No, it's up to Donald Trump. He's the only person who will decide this.
He's
the only person who will decide. And yes, I do speak to him.
May I ask what he said to you about being vice president?
I never tell anybody my personal conversations
Did
with
the dog story
President
come up
Trump.
in a conversation with
I talk
Trump?
to President Trump all the time.
About the dog?
About a lot of things. And right now, I tell you what, he is being persecuted in a political witch hunt in this court case. So I'm proud of him about how tough he is and how well he is doing.
Did you bring up the dog?
Yes, enough,
with Trump?
Stuart.
With Trump? Did you
this
bring
interview
up the dog
is
with Trump?
ridiculous, what you were doing right now.
I don't
so
think
you
so.
need to stop. It is.
Okay.
It is.
We'll
Let's
stop.
talk about some real topics that Americans care about.
I'm afraid we're out of time.
Oh, well, of course we are.
We do thank you for being with us.
Right.
I know I pressed hard, but that's what people are talking about to this day.
Yeah.
Governor Noem, thanks for joining us.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. We'll be back in just a moment with the opening bell for
I love that clip. You know why I love it? Because he knows, everybody knows he's asking about the dog. And he doesn't say it, so Noem doesn't acknowledge it. So eventually he's got to be like, I'm talking about the dog. You know I'm talking about the dog, right?
Still think that you are in line to be Trump's vice president?
No, it's up to Donald Trump. He's the only person who will decide this.
He's
the only person who will.
You see, he's like, do you still think you're in the running? And in the back of the elephant, like with the statement, it's not even in the room. It's like in the statement, because of that damn dog. Are you still in the running?
Still think that you are in line to be Trump's vice president?
After you did what you did to that little poor puppy. That's what everyone sees you now, Kristi Noem, and I don't agree with it, but that's what it is.
It's up to Donald Trump. He's the only person who will decide this.
He's
the only person.
Have you spoken to him? He still hasn't brought up the dog, at least in this clip, and we know he's talking about that damn dog.
Who will decide? And yes, I do speak to him.
May I ask what he said to you about being vice president?
No, I never.
See, he's still talking about the dog and won't just come out and say, I'm talking about the dog.
Never tell anybody my personal conversations
Did
with
the dog story
President
come up
Trump.
in a conversation
I
with
talk
Trump?
to President Trump all the time.
So then he does bring up the dog, and she ignores the conversation. She ignores it. If she wanted to stop the dog conversation, she should have acknowledged the dog conversation.
About the dog?
About a lot of things. And right now, I tell you what.
So that's the second time. He said the dog.
All the time.
About the dog?
About a lot of things. And right now, I tell you what, he is being persecuted. I never tell anybody my personal conversations
Did
with
the dog story
President
come up
Trump.
in a conversation
I
with
talk
Trump?
to President Trump all the time.
About the dog?
About a lot of things. And right now, I tell you what, he is being persecuted in a political hunt.
So then she tries to hide behind Trump's persecutions. She slides into that talking point because she doesn't want to talk about the dog anymore. She's fed up with this damn dog. This dog has come back from the unlive and has haunted her political career. When she goes to bed at night and closes her eyes, she sees that damn dog every single night, I guarantee you.
Witch hunt in this court case. So I'm proud of him about how tough
That's the third time. That's the third time he's asked about the dog.
he is and how well he is doing.
Did you bring up
Yes.
the dog?
That's the fourth time. That's the fourth time in 30 seconds he's asked about that damn dog. I know you don't care about that dog that much.
Enough,
Trump.
Stuart.
With Trump. Did you
This-
bring-
Actually, I don't I don't blame her. I'm still gonna have the same takeaway, but I kind of feel her. She's like, okay, but no, she's gotta acknowledge it to make it go away.
The interview is ridiculous, which you
Fifth time, at least. Maybe I missed one. Fifth time he's asked about the dog.
we're doing right now.
I don't
So
think
you
so.
need to stop. It is.
Okay.
It is.
We'll
Let's
stop.
talk about some real topics that Americans care about.
I'm afraid we're out of time.
But it's in your book. You put it in the book, so you're on the show, and now it's my fault that I'm bringing it up. Don't do that. He was very gracious with you because for me, I'd be like, don't do that, because that's why he said, well, everybody's talking about it. Don't look at me like I'm some lunatic. I'm asking because everybody else is asking. If that's all anybody associates you with now is draconian anti-free speech legislation or executive order, I forget which one it was, anti-Sem executive order, and that dog. How are you doing with dogs? Have you had any occasion to take out any of your other puppies that just didn't train well?
Oh, well, of course we are.
We do thank you for being with us.
Oh, well, of course we are. Well, she had a little flex move on him, huh?
No, I pressed hard, but that's what people are talking about to this day.
Yeah.
Governor Noem, thanks for joining us.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
You bet.
We'll be back in just a moment with the opening bell for more. I still think that you...
That was an awkward segment. I don't want to be that guy. I hate being the one that has to say this, but women, not every woman is built for this. And she's clearly not built for this. She can't handle the question. She doesn't answer the question. I think she would have been fine if she would have just said something to address I don't know how you address the dog, that unlived dog, but you address the dog the first time. If he keeps asking 5 times after that, that's something else. But he asked you about the dog, and you kept going around trying to hide around Trump's persecution. That's pretty shameful, actually. I mean, to use Trump getting persecuted as something to hide behind you and unliving your dog. Remember Nancy Mace went on with George Stephanopoulos, and she was just terrible. He asked her a very good question. How do you back Donald Trump when he's been convicted in civil court of this type of violation? She had a terrible answer, so then she melted down. Nancy Mace is the same one. Remember she had that speech? She did that speech where she said something to the effect of, I had to miss my morning activities with my man to do this or something. She was talking about knocking boots.
But want to thank you for pulling this together. Another year, another standing room only event. And when I woke up this morning at 7, I was getting picked up at 7:45. Patrick, my fiance, tried to pull me by my waist over this morning in bed. And I was like, no, baby, we don't got time for that this morning. I got to get to the prayer breakfast and I got to be on time, and a little TMI. But he can wait. I'll see him later tonight. But I was here early today for you, Tim. And I think everybody was here early for you today.
And very unsavory, just almost unhinged comment. Then we had Libs of TikTok, and it's just list and list. At least we have our Carrie Lakes, and we have our other people. There's other women out here that even Marjorie Taylor Greene, even though I go back and forth on her, she's ready for the battle. That's for sure. Even though she makes other type of mistakes. We need each other. This isn't a knock on women. Men need women, obviously, and women need men as well.
Middle MAGA.